Yes, 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 yes. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Gerald Peters. So we're talking trading. Specifically, we've been talking a lot of day trading recently, but what we have here, and you've heard me talk about this before, and we'll run through this real quick for the morning as we're going to open up here on Monday. Trading comes down to basically 5 things. Psychology. You will trade your beliefs about the market. So whatever it is you believe, right or wrong, that is what is going to be your go-to when you're trading. So you want to spend some time to really figure out what is it you believe. This is why you always hear me talk about the connection of church and the market, Sunday service, the pictures I post. I'm trying to emphasize the concept of like a religion in the sense it's like whatever it is you believe, that's going to spill out into the rest of your life. Well, same here in the stock market. Number 2 is going to be position sizing. If you're paper trading, you're going to do what you can do, but I would do 1,000 shares rather than 10 shares. Here's the problem if you tried trading little sums. I guarantee you 100% you will not execute the same as if you had 1,000 shares. When it comes to your exits and your entries, because it's small and because you know in your mind it's small, you're like, it may run up, oh, I would trim here, but I only got 10 shares, so I'm gonna wait. And all you're gonna do is just reinforce how to trade with small money and how to do it not very well. Do 1,000 shares because a real day trader is gonna trade at least 1,000 shares. You need $25,000 minimum. We talked about this before. That is not a big number. If that number keeps you from accomplishing your dreams, you were never going to accomplish them. You can get to that while learning to paper trade. And you're not going to lose any money. The goal in your paper trading is to make 10,000 points. If you have a catastrophe, if you fuck up, zero it out. Start the week over. Goal's 10,000 points. Takes about 6 months in my experience to do it legitimately and honestly if you're going to pull it off. If it takes a year, who cares? Who cares if it takes 2 years, man? In the meantime, you got legitimate swing trades going. You got your buy and hold, so you should be good. Market selection. When we're day trading, or at least what I'm doing is the TQQ, this is all I'm focused on. I don't care about earnings. I'm not looking at this and that. I'm not up early trying to check this and my level. I don't need to do all that. I'm looking at this one thing every day, all the time, so that I can get in flow and it simplifies my life. Check it out. And the TQQ is a 3x leveraged fund. So be very careful because we're trading on leverage and margin. Do not hold it over. Our entries. This is what our lesson here today. When you look at the chart, whether on a daily or all the way down to a 1 minute, remember the money flows fractal, right? So here it is, stage 4. Down, 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 down. What we're looking for is the bottom. RSI, we know what's up. It's going to go extreme, right? -30. You're going to put in a bottom. How do you know it's the bottom? It's the bottom, meaning the next candle is higher. When you got down, 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 up, you have an anchor point. Right there, it's called an anchor point. An anchor point is the lowest low in a structured move down. Often, the anchor point is the bottom of the stage 4 decline. It's that connection between stage 4 and stage 1. That little spot, that's called the anchor. Now, we gotta make sure the anchor proves itself, and we want 4 candles, sometimes less. Sometimes less if it's a momentum move. It may be only 1. You're going to have to make that call. Those are the tricky, I call them the gray areas in my course if you've taken it. Typically, I'm looking for 4 candles, meaning I put in an apex, right? Here's a bottom, and then it kind of just goes sideways to up. And what I'm looking for is price right here to get over that exponential 5-day moving average. So for me, the 5 EMA is my trigger. And think of like a trigger on a gun. Pull the trigger, in other words, right? That's the trigger, the 5-day exponential moving average after I've achieved an anchor point, which is a structured move down where it stops. And we know it stops because the next candle goes up and the next 2 to 3 go over. They hold it. If they go below this point, you start to count over. You can count to 4, right? If you can count to 4, and you can tell the difference between red and black, you can find the anchor point every time. And the opposite of that, going up, remember a stage 3 is a stage 1. The bipolar nature of the markets. If you have my book called The Two Selves, I talk about that. Love, hate, high tide, low tide, moon, sun, all these things. Everything has an opposite equal. We talk about that in the book. Anyway, so I'm combining technical indicators with market structure, looking for a bottom, looking for an entry. I got my trigger. That's how I'm going to get my entries. I'm going to do the same exact fucking entry every time. It gets boring over and over. Repetition is the mother of skill. Do it over and over. And here's an idea. Do it right. Don't do it early. Don't do it late. Just do it right because you're a great trader. Number 5 is our exits. Let me clean this up a little. This is where I think people mess it up when they start doing little money. You don't exit properly. Here's my exit pattern, and it can change based on market movement, okay? And that's going to be based on intuition. Remember, we're not doing a black box here, guys. There is no black box system, okay? Also, you're never going to arrive. You're always working on it, always trading, always working on mindset, always practicing your execution. I didn't say learning new systems over and over and over. Perfecting yours, the problems you're having, the money, the way you see the markets. Like, there's so much to do. Exits are how we take profits. It's also how we take a loss. Losing is part of trading. If you get upset about that, you need to go do something else. You're not mentally equipped for this. You're going to lose at least 50% of your trades. Our edge is that when we win, this here, how we exit. Winning in short-term trading is about the exit, not the entry. Okay? Entries need to be perfect, but the money comes from the exit. That's how you get paid. So what I like to do, let's say we enter on this stage 1 and the market breaks up and we're watching that RSI, the 7 period. When we hit that 7 period, I'm going to ring the bell and I'm going to sell half. So if we had 1,000 shares, I'm going to sell 500. Boom. That's going to lock in 70 to probably 140, somewhere in there, dollars, somewhere in there. And then once I do that, let's say I got in here. When I got in here, my stop's down here. This runs up, hits that. I now move my stop to break even. That is position management. That ensures that I'm not going to take a loss. If the market pulls back at this point, bam, I'm out. I made 70 bucks. Now, how we're going to make our money so that this 50% lose rate, the 50% lose rate, we can't have many of these lose much, and we need a certain amount of those other 500 shares to keep running. And if we scale out properly, this is how we're going to make our money. So as it runs on the next RSI, I'm going to sell another 100 shares. That'll take me down to 400. Now that I'm at 400 shares, the next 2, I'm going to sell 50 and then 50. So if it keeps running, as it runs, rather than trail my stop, one way to position size is as I downsize my position size, I am lowering my risk. I'm lowering risk. And I'm also what? Locking in what? Locking in profit. Okay? So the way that I'm going to handle it is as the market moves in my favor, I'm going to let it run. We got to cut losses short, let winners run. And so as they run, but at the same time, I know it's going to turn around, especially on a 1-minute chart, man. We might get 8 trades a day. So I need to scale out into that so that I can take profit and also lower my risk. And then finally, we're going to go from, we got 400, then we're going to do 50 and 50. It takes us to 3. I then will drop down to 25 share pops, taking it down to about 2. And if it's still running on 200 shares, that's 20% of the original position. I consider it bonus, and I just let it run. A lot of times, listen, this is more aggressive trading, but a lot of times when it's running, and we'll do a video on this, if we're trading aggressive and we feel like the wind's at our back, we can be aggressive and put that back on. And if you saw last week, I did this live trading, this exact thing is it went down, it hit my trigger, I got my anchor point, it started to go, it broke out on the stage 1, I got in, it ran up, I sold half, so I sell 500 shares, it came back down, and once that, and we won't get into the technicals on that, we'll do that for another video. Once that came down, I was able to put that 500 back on, it ran back up, and I sat there going, $75, lock it in, comes back down, put 500 back, runs up, $75, lock it in, came back. 3 times we did that before it finally ran. And so that turned out to be a great thing. But I had to have the intuition to know when to put it back on. That comes through repetition. In the beginning, don't worry about that. You don't have any intuition. You don't know shit. You just need to execute, 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 manage the position, take your profits, learn how to exit. I hope that helps. And I hope you're enjoying it. I hope you get some value at it. If you are, click the like button, man. Don't be stingy. And if you don't have my free ebook, you know what's up. Hit my bio link. Go to GeraldPeters.com. Totally free. But listen, what we're talking about here is trading. This is the book, man. This is a cult classic. The Money Flow Trading Society. It's exactly how I trade. I'd be happy to send you a hard copy or an ebook. And hey, after you get it, my phone number is always in there. Don't call me, but you can text me anytime you want. I'll be happy to answer your questions. My name's Gerald Peters, and I've been teaching people how to trade stocks for a lot of years. I've been teaching people how to manage their money, how to get out of debt, encouraging them, trying to inspire and motivate them on how to invest in the stock market and the real estate market in the simplest way that I know how. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not the fastest. I'm not the strongest, and I'm not the best looking. But what I've learned along the way is you don't have to be. You don't even have to get it right. Truth is, often, you just got to get it going.